and that really hurts the game on the side of Virtus Pro.
Yeah, I mean, Monkey's an interesting pick, right? The Dream Roll can be absolutely devastating, discard the name, and Monkey is normally one of those picks that kind of comes through towards the latter part of the jungle pool already being exhausted, but hey, Virtus Pro want to get that off the table straight away. Same with the Ogryn. So now the jungle's looking a little bit more feisty, right? You've got the likes of the Kaiser, the Dune still available, but they could be going for maybe something on the side of Major Pride like the Lamb, right? That was something that Alimsky liked to play, a little bit of a pocket pick for himself. Whether he decides to go for it or goes for something a little bit more traditional like the Kaiser, like the Dune, will be yet to be seen. But it is going to be Shuzuki getting that Byron pick. And we've seen many Clash laners throughout the Open Series and the play-ins that can really master this pick. Like, he's a really good one-to-one, but then in those late games as well, he can be like a really strong assassin, right? Like, he can just go in there, use his ability, use his ultimate, get the shield, and do a lot more damage.
Yep, he's an overly buffed assassin, right? Coming in with the huge muscles as well. The electrifying charge as well as the storm strike, going to be very useful to catch off members like Mac, especially on the RLE. Yes, she does have the lift step, but she can't use it when she's being stunned. Now, Virtus Pro, they lock in the lane, they get the Princess Frost. I like it as well. It is a little mechanical for my taste, right? Princess Frost requires a lot of setup, but I love this coming out from Major Pride. They pick up the Luna, one of the most mobile heroes in the game, a counter towards this Princess Frost.
Yes, Luna coming through, so a flashy jungle pick. We were waiting for it for the side of Major Pride to come through. So now we are going to wait to see how they do on the Gorge with it.
Oh, for sure. Very concerned about the new moon, the crescent slices, the searing stabs. There's a lot of movesets available on the side of Luna, and I don't see anyone on the side of Virtus Pro that will offer enough control to deal with this Alimsky Luna at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just really hope that Prince is able to lay down those Winter is Coming, but then also you've got Grizzly Q that has those time lapses, right? So when the engage comes through, they can get the silence, and pretty much that's where Luna gets really effective, right? Is when everybody's come together, she's dashing around, doing a lot of damage. That's where I think Grizzly Q can come in and try and negate that.
Yeah, the timing actually for the time flux as well as the time lapse is going to be really important for the side of Virtus Pro, because if you time it wrongly, that's essentially an open door for Alimsky to just jump onto your backlines and catch as many people as possible. So it's a risk. I think the Grizzly Q needs to be on point this game.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure onto the support, right? We saw a few timed ultimates yesterday from many players, and it really shows that that can make the difference of a great engage or a disaster for your team when you know that the enemy team's like, we baited you successfully, and then they go in and they know there's no counter engage. So that's when they can just have a brawl and just a showdown with your team, right?
Yeah, it's one of the cool things that actually I think Virtus Pro have already showcased yesterday, right? I like to point out 3005. He is such a strong player. His big plays have been phenomenal thus far over the first day.
Yeah, so far so good, right? But we've got to wait and see how they can do in day two. Okay, Lipsky.
Yep, nice poke, but the time flux reverses the damage here, and so Vex is totally fine at this point. The River Sprite will be going into the hands of Vex. It is a level 4 shared amongst all the junglers, so I think we're still pretty much on even ends for both sides.
Yeah, so far the goal difference, just like we saw in yesterday, like, this is the difference in the EMEA region, right? And I think this is where they're actually going to be struggling against the teams going into the Honor of Kings Championships 2024, is the difference in the resources in the early game. Like, there's always a very close lead. There's never anybody that's kind of like slowly, but surely getting ahead, right?
Yeah, it's also being about sneaky, right? And at this point, Alimsky, he's going to try his luck. Not going to work out too much. The time bomb does deter him from coming in, but Chaos Cinder is going to be laid down to likewise stop the follow-up aggression coming in from Virtus Pro.
Yeah, I mean, when we say about, like, counter engages, right? Okay, Shuzuki is going 1v1 with Vex, pushing him away, so nothing's actually going to start there, not committing to any kind of battle between Major Pride and VP. But back to my point is that Major Pride actually have quite a bit of counter engage, right? They have the Blazing Brilliance,
Yep,
Just
there we
like
go.
that.
Potential
Just
first
like
blood.
that.
Yeah,
like that.
that's
Blazing
what we are
brilliance.
looking for. Yeah, that's what we're looking for, right?
Yeah, just like that. Blazing brilliance of obviously the unbridled outburst from the Zheng Fei as well, right? So there's a lot of counter engage on the side of MP, and then you can kind of see to the side of Virtus Pro, they have the likes of the Winter is Coming and obviously the time lapse. So it's all about, like we said in the beginning part of the game, timing those ultimates and timing those skills correctly.
Yeah, and at this point, we need to look at the item growth, right? So far, Vex hasn't got that Frostscar Embrace yet. Grizzly Q getting caught out. Potential first blood. Forced to use the flash at this point. And this is a big win because in the next 15 seconds, that's going to be the first neutral objective of the game. And it looks a better set for the side of Major Pride to get it done.
Yes, that's the one part where Grizzly Q needs to improve, right? He doesn't want to be checking these brushes with his face, especially with the mid lane rotations. We know they happen frequently, especially in the early game.
Okay, so Vex committed the smite onto the River Sprite, which means this Tyrant should probably be in the hands of Major Pride.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're actually going to go for it just yet, right? We see Vex towards the back end of the Azure Golem,
nice
so
catch.
okay.
Yep, that's going to be the first blood of the game, falling onto 3005. Now, Major Pride, that's a good start. Not only do they get the first blood, they get that Tyrant of the game as well.
Yeah, I mean, that happened really quick, right? I feel like I need a little bit of a replay of that one there. I was just like, what's going on there? And then all of a sudden, just like 3005 was down. And now VP is able to get a T1. So even though after that...
Oh my goodness, once again, a secondary kill, same combination. This time coming out from Red Cutie. He's on fire today.
But yeah, even though after that little engage that didn't quite go their way, the neutral objective not quite going their way, they did pick up the T1 into the farm lane. They did lose it in the mid lane, however, which is quite a brutal T1 to lose this early on.
Yep, there's a lot of vision that's going to be obscured from this side of VP. And I like the fact that Red Cutie is super trigger happy with the Blazing Brilliance as well. It's working out perfectly for the side of Major Pride thus far.
Oh yeah, every time it's off cooldown, he seems to be using it to brilliance, lack there better words. The time lapse there, Shizuki has to get out of the range of it. He doesn't want to hit that damage, but here we are, mid lane.
Yep, it's going to be a jump in. Olimsky catches two, will not overcommit at this point. Red Cutie does have the Blazing Brilliance. I think that's a marker we need to keep our eyes on, right? Every time Red Cutie has his ultimate, it's a risk for Virtus Pro.
Yeah, I think that's hopefully something Virtus Pro will pick up on throughout the game, right? Or even throughout the series. They might not quite get it just yet, but every time he gets it, every time that Blazing Brilliance is up, oh, speaking of up, it is a lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a short poke, right? At this point, Major Pride have decent map control. So you can see they're starting to pull Virtus Pro around the map, and it's not looking healthy at all on the side of VP.
Yeah, not quite. We're seeing that Major Pride are ahead by about 1.3k gold, which towards that 6-minute mark is going to be something of an issue for Virtus Pride. If the night Virtus Pride, oh, that was a bit of a blend, Virtus Pro. But if VP are able to get a solid team fight in their favor, that could be easily flipped over.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen until they have like a decent magic resistance or defense, right? Because at this point, Red Cutie is the one responsible for a lot of the pain.
Oh yeah, plenty of pain. The Blazing Brilliance, but then also you've got the Luna as well. She's dealing pains. Kashi going in here, not quite committing enough, but VP Mac is looking to go in.
Yep, they've exhausted their resources at this point. Kinesis is falling low, going to be forced to use the Dragon form here. Infinite Vastness committed. And this is going to be pressure coming in. Kashi Batir gets taken out. VP strike first in this part of the game. And at this point, the return kill comes in. Red Cutie lays down the pain. Blazing Brilliance as MP. Major Pride, they look to take back control.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good way to get the Death on Sunset out of there, right? That Blazing Brilliance really helped Red QT, though.
Yep, but Olimsky on the back lines. They want to trade out the kills. Not going to happen, and it's overextension. A double kill. This time, VP have caught the mistakes. They take the lead once and for all.
Yes, neutralizing the kill lead there is now 3-3 between these two teams. And hey, like I just said it a few moments ago, if VP are able to get that team fight, get those good trades within that team fight like they just did there, they've neutralized that gold lead very much closely there. They're not even a matter of like, now they're ahead. Now they take that T1, they're able to get ahead with the gold. Very well played by VP.
Okay, so most of that came down to the mobility of the team, right? Kashipatir, he just got his Radiance. I think that might set up a couple of changes in the way the interactions between the teams go.
We kind of hope so, right? Kind of hope so, because they kind of need to do something now on the side of Major Pride. Blazing Brilliance comes through, but Prince does use the Splendor.
Okay, so that's one ultimate down. This could be an opening that's good for the side of VP. Winter is here is going to be dropped. At this point, Mac attack happens. Not a lot of pain to talk about, but there is quite a bit of structural damage going on to Major Pride's mid lane. In the meantime, you can see Alimsky, he's trying his best to get the Tyrant started.
Yeah, that was a really nice play there by Alimsky, taking down 3005 towards that next Tyrant. They do pick it up from themselves once more. So that is 2 Tyrants over to the side of Major Pride, and they're looking to take the Overlord on the side of VP. They kind of need it for these lane pushes.
Yeah, they're going to lose the T1 on the bot side for the side of VP, but they took the Overlord buff. Is that a win, or is that not a win for you?
I mean, it gives over quite a lot of gold when your enemy team takes the Vanguards, though, right? So it's kind of like, I'm not too sure, because that's going to kind of like nullify the lead, but okay, a Brighter Light Burst comes through.
Definite Sunset, it's a quick one. They are unable to kill off Kinesis. They will start chasing onto Kashipatir. He's going to just jump out of there. At this point, Grizzly Q unable to make a difference for the team. It looks like Major Pride will be able to walk away scot-free. In the meantime, they do expose the Azure Golem coming in. Blazing Brilliance is going to be dropped down. It is going to be stolen. And at this point, small wins across the map for VP. But Major Pride, they have taken so much damage onto that tier 2 on the bot. I think it's a big win for MP.
Oh, absolutely right. VP did very well with that one. They did lose, obviously, their T1 into the bot lane. However, they did steal Azure Golem. And for those in the chat that don't know, Luna definitely relies on those Azure Golem buffs. That blue buff is very detrimental to the kit.
Oh, Swisky is going to be taken down. It is a killing spree this time for Mac. It's the Mac attack. We've seen it from yesterday. They make a beeline on the side of VP to go for the Shadow Overlord. They're going to give away the Shadow Tyrant for the side of Major Pride. I don't think they're too concerned about it. Big trouble, though, for Major Pride. They have lost the T2 on the top.
Yes, leaves that clash lane wide open for the side of Major Pride. And in terms of the gold lead, they don't really have that privilege to let that go, right? Because if they were ahead with the gold, they could probably say, hey, yeah, let's let that T2 slip, but we could pick up some some kills in the next team fight.
Limsky catches a glimpse of 3 different members on the side of VP, will not allow it to be taken away. Mac actually gets the steal onto the Crimson Golem. This is going to open up the map for the side of Virtus Pro, putting pressure on that mid lane first.
Yeah, they really want to try and secure this T1 in the mid lane, right? Because MP was able to do it very early on in the game. It's a detriment to the side of VP, and right now, Blazing Brilliance comes through once more.
Oh, Vex just playing with fire at this point. Gonna use the Unending Sorrow to move away from the status of the mid lane. They will try to put some pressure onto the bot lane as well. And all of a sudden, VP, they are in control of this game.
It looks like it, right? They've done a very good job at bringing this back into their favor. In terms of the goal lead, the kills are pretty much neck and neck, which is a bit of a stark difference from yesterday, right? There was a lot of brawls, a lot of kills going down. But again, a big engage could be happening in the mid lane.
Yep, it is Alimsky. He jumps into 3. Will not get the damage done, maybe getting caught out at the same time. They force Red Cutie back. Simple play by Mac there with the lift step, and all of a sudden, it's going to be disaster on the top lane as well. The Dragon does get a bit of damage on the T3 at the top lane, but as it stands now, Major Pride, they hang on.
They're hanging on, and just like their T2, they're able to hang on to that as well, right? It's very low for their T2 into the farm lane, but a very well-played team fight for the side of Virtus Pro. Weren't able to pick up a kill, though, but they were able to gain a lot from that engage.
Okay, it's not all doom and gloom at this point. If you take a look at what Kinesis has in his kit, he's pretty much close to his 5th item. A bunch of bursts from the Master Sword, Eternity Blade, also gets the physical pierce from the Starbreaker. So I think it's a decent and potential turnaround coming out from Major Pride.
It is, but at the same time, they have Mac right on the side of Virtus Pro. They are almost looking to try and 6-slot the Mac. Speaking of Mac, he able to get that T2 down into the farm lane as well, so that's a lot of lover gold going over to him. You kind of see that he's already building into the Daybreaker, which is a huge late game item. The Suzuki trying to trade a few blows here. We see 3005 looking into that back line. He's got to be careful. He's been caught out quite a few times in this match.
Yep, and you know, with the point about Mac, I don't think anyone can catch Mac at this point. And with that being said, he just completed the Daybreaker. It's going to be a lot of hurt being put onto the members on the side of Major Pride.
Yeah, between the two, right? Mac's doing a much better job than Kinesis, but Kinesis towards the end should be able to pull that back as the Lung, but so far it's not looking like it. They lost the T2 down into the mid lane, and Luna is looking very aggressive, diving onto these players when there's nobody else around them, or a group of them around them as well. So again, Major Pride need to kind of do some kind of great team fight, trying to get something with a positive trade for themselves. Grizzly Q just making sure that he doesn't check any more bushes with his face and dies prematurely.
I don't think it's too concerned, right? At this point, the bank is fat. They went on a shopping spree in the past 30 seconds. 4 different members got a couple of items in their kit as well. And very ballsy move by 3005. Same great plays. He's going to go in. Death Sunset catching on the backlines as well. Timelapse going to try and save him. Defensive maneuver is coming in, but here comes the damage. The Dragon Form will be unleashed on the backlines as well. Shisui is going to try and enter the backlines of Virtus Pro. Will not happen at this point. Red QE also expends that Blazing Brilliance. Is not a good fighting form. This allows the Tyrant to be taken from the side of Virtus Pro.
Yeah, I don't think they've actually touched an Overlord yet on the side of Major Pride, right? They have just all gone, and Virtus Pro, sorry. They've all just gone for the Overlord, and then this is finally the Tyrant for themselves, which, again, is only going to make that Mac attack a lot more harsher going into this 15-minute mark of the game. Currently, Virtus Pro are up by around about 5k gold, and they are pretty much equal in the kills, right? Looking at that itemization, the Daybreaker has been built, looking to finalize that final 6th item on the side of Ali, which again will be huge for them as they get it. Currently clearing out the Crimson Golem as well, getting that extra damage for the Ali. Also, a bit of a team fight going on in the Clash lane.
If they're forcing a fight, Kashyapatier will be the first one to fall. VP are just doing it at this point. They're the better team. Major Pride, they try to push them away. In the meantime, Vex is just catching the attention of the Olimsky, trying to deny that blue buff, right? The Azure Golem from going into the hands of Olimsky. Does not manage to get the job done, but at the same time, they have so much map control on the side of Virtus Pro that Major Pride have to take these little wins.
Yeah, they cut off the Vex, so one of the head of the Hydras has been fallen for about 25 seconds now, and as that Overlord is up, I can imagine that Major Pride maybe want to bait a fight for it because it gives them a bit of presence, a little bit of priority on the Gorge.
Yeah, okay, Sun Chaser in the hands of Mac. We have a 6-slotted Mac Arlie.
Yes, extended range as well, just going to make it even more slippery for Mac to get away, right? Or even just harass from a distance.
Okay, Shisui will push them away, but has to pay with his life as a rampage coming out from Mac. Virtus Pro just laying the pain as Major Pride, they will look to back off. No ultimate committed by Red Cutie. Here we go. The Beast is going to be dropped. That's a lot of resources for nothing on the side of Major Pride, and Virtus Pro, they are looking for the kill. We'll get just the Crimson Golem at this point, but Map, even though they got that Overlord, it's still in control on the side of VP.
I mean, is it just the Crimson Golem at this point? I mean, Mac 6-slotted, doing a lot of damage onto Kashyapatier. It's not just the Crimson Golem at that point, right?
Yep, and at this point, the damage they're doing, Death at Sunset, defensively, to get out within range, nobody dies on the side of Virtus Pro. And all you can see for Major Pride, they got the neutral objective, but they're surviving. They're not living, they're surviving, guys.
They are surviving. They're just holding on, right? They're just holding on to whatever kind of lead in defense they may have. And right now, they're able to hold on to the fact that they've still got their higher ground turrets, which is a better case than most teams could be at this 17-minute, right? And the thing for Virtus Pros, they've got to make sure that they're able to continue Okay, are we sure we want to quit? No, we don't want to. We don't want to quit. We don't want to quit. We want to see the action. Thank you very much. Virtus Pros got to make sure they don't let this lead slip.
Okay, it's an important time marker for the side of Major Pride, right? They need to make something happen here, but Vex in the middle of it. He's going to be front-facing. That's a lot of damage. Beats form. Going to be dropped down, and here comes the chasing. Alimsky maybe a little bit too forward. Gets the Splendor off. At this point of time, it is going to be 3-5. He's chasing in as well. Mac is falling low. Liv steps away. Kashibatir falling low, and it's going to be the form of the Dragon. Infinite Vastness committed by the side of Major Pride. Nobody has died just yet, but they have to make a run for it because at this point, too much damage coming in from the side of Virtus Pro. Once again, they make their will known.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good pushback, right? If they allowed Major Pride to take that whole reins of that horse there within that team fight, it could have been a complete disaster for them because they still have, they had the Vanguards. They would have been able to clean out that top lane very easily. But they take the Tyrant for themselves. Virtus Pro once more getting that Shadow Tyrant into their objectives. But that really just helps the likes of Ali and obviously Vex doing a lot of damage as well. But that also helps Elaine just able to do that a little bit more damage when he goes into those backlines. As we've been seeing, 3005 has been played into those backlines, just putting a little pressure, a little bit of a uh-oh moment on the side of Major Pride.
Yeah, we still have around 60 seconds of being on the edge of a cliff for the side of Major Pride, right? That's how long they have that Tyrant buff for. And this could be an opening if VP gets the stun or the setup of their life. Alimsky tries to dive in. It's a return blow. It is going to be Rick Cutie. Burns out the Blazing Brilliance. He's going to be dead. Mac with the last hit of that fight as well. In the meantime, mid T3 going to be committed and taken away. Virtus Pro, they get the first strike in this fight. A double kill as Mac makes the pain an insta-kill in fact. Ooh. And it's going to be Kashibatir taken out for a triple. VP will not be stopped. It's just too strong at this moment.
Yeah, wait for that minion to wave to come through into there. Alimsky looking, Shizuki, sorry, and Alimsky trying to fight off this last little fight, but it doesn't look like it can. It's going to be a first game going over to VP.
Yep, in control, in just full force on the side of Virtus Pro. What a game. It was a little shaky at the start, but